What would you say the current mood is with Arsenal then? They're making some signings, keeping the core as well of the squad. What Arteta, I'm sure Arsenal fans are pretty happy with him going into this season.
Yeah, very happy indeed. Arsenal are really on the right track as we speak today. That yesterday just signed Riccardo Calafiori from Bologna, who probably strengthens what you might say was their weak point in the team at left back, and it wasn't that bad at all either. So they seem to have sort of been rounding out their squad quite nicely. You could see this team going into the opening day of the season against Wolves, having not added anyone else, and still feel they're a real contender. I'm sure Arsenal fans would like, and Arsenal themselves would like, to add a little bit of depth and variety to the attack. You've seen Emile Smith-Rowe moving on, and Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah are likely to follow as well. So there is, hopefully, Arsenal will be hoping there's room to maybe just add a sort of sprinkling of high quality depth, but that's all they need. I mean, this 11, this first 15, however you want to view it, it's good to go, and it's going to be up to City as well, but it's going to put itself in as good a position as it can to keep neck and neck with Man City at the top of the table.
Now, big question, James. How do you reckon Town would do? We're going to hopefully stop the trend of the teams who go up and then go straight back down. A yo-yo effect. Hopefully, we won't do that. But what do you reckon?
Yeah, well, I mean, you sort of mentioned the yo-yo effect there. I think it has to be said that, I mean, at least two of the teams that came up from the Championship last season, as in the ones that played in the Premier League last season, were really not very good. Harsh truth. I thought Luton performed admirably with the players they had. Sheffield United could have done better if they hadn't been hamstrung by ownership selling off some of their best players. Burnley, bit of a disappointment, but I didn't think any of them were vintage Championship teams. And I think that's different this year. We know Leicester City kind of almost look better kind of coming out of the Championship than they did going into it. So much did they spend and gamble. Ipswich, I think it's going to be really, really tight. I think it will be tight at the bottom. I think there are a few teams in the Premier League that have gotten away with being not good enough because the Championship has not been sending up its best and brightest. I think it will go to the final couple of days, and I think Ipswich might just about survive. It will be tight. I mean, I think I have Southampton going down, and I'm struggling to pick another two. Ipswich would certainly be in that mix, along with, maybe an Everton, a Fulham, teams of that level. I mean, the challenge is going to be that some of the teams that were down there last season, I've mentioned Everton, but they will improve with Sean Dyche. Brentford will not be as poor as they were towards the back end of last season. So it's going to be tough. I think it will go to the final day, and I think maybe they'll finish 17th. I reserve the right to change my mind when I have to do my predictions myself, but yeah, I think they'll be right on the cusp, and I think the relegation battle is going to be very, very watchable this season.